Okay, this is DragonofEternity and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker MSQ, or main scenario quests, or main story quests, however you want to say it as. In the last video, we started exploring Ultima Thule after landing the Ragnarok on here, and we have seen part of the Dragon Star, which is now dead. And in order to get to this new section of land, Estinian sacrificed himself. Let's make sure a sacrifice isn't in vain. Right, let's start the episode off now. Roads paved in sacrifice. Alphino has regained his composure and is ready to proceed. As Istola and Alisei said, we must continue. Notice the change in our surroundings. Perhaps this is the memory of an altogether different world. 'Twould be prudent to learn more of it then. Tread carefully lest we lose our footing on this sand. Or in this sand. Oh god, what civilization is it this time? Well, there are 3 different worlds I can think of. There's the Dragon Star, which we've been to. There's Omega's creator's world. And there's the plane or planet where Ultima came from. Or Ultima weapon. So which one is it this time? Drifting ER. Why does this remind me of Journey? If you're worried about my vision, you needn't be. I can still see quite well. Are your eyes back? I think they are. Huh. Another seemingly barren world. For a mercy, the air is somewhere near stale. It's nowhere near stale, but still quite dry. The sand will no doubt prove bothersome in due time. Yeah, especially if you're wearing heels. If not for the light emitted by these glyphs, I might well have overlooked this monolith. Sand everywhere. Sigh. Were it not for the violet crystal embedded in its surface, 'twould appear as ordinary stone. A curious script have been etched upon them. Alas, it is not a language with which I am familiar. I cannot say I recognize it either. Nor I. The dragons, from what I recall, preserve their knowledge in song and eschew the written word entirely. So we may assume this is the work of another race, one we have yet to encounter. Meteon claimed the dragon's world suffered a slow death, seeking the release of oblivion. What life we find here, like as not, doth wend its way towards a similar end. What do you suppose that is over there? I'm not sure. It's hard to make out at this distance, but its surface seems to bear the same crystals as this monument. Oh, this thing? Or that thing? Meaning there's a chance we may find whoever built them both. We should go and have a look. Come on. I'm so worried about everything. Well, just keep going forward. That's all I can do. Hollow of the Flesh. Ghostly figure. Hail, travellers. This is a most unexpected occurrence. Oh, hello there. Is this your home? Indeed it is. Forgive me, I had forgotten. An exchange of introductions is expected when first meeting those with whom one is unacquainted. When the vibration of vocal folds, was still very required to convey our thoughts and intention, EA, I believe, was the pronunciation used when referring to our people. Though it is not entirely applicable given our present state, you are welcome to use the appellation. As for the nomenclature to address my individual person, I believe it would be pronounced Kofkuj. Yes, Kofkuj of the EA. We have encountered beings that communicate intermittently through thought, but never one that is wholly without voice. I presume we are having this conversation via the medium of ether, or dynamis as the space is suffused with vast quantities of it. Fascinating in either case. I gather your response to my presence is positive then. That is well, for there is something I wish to ask of you. Like yourselves, we, EA, are ether-based lifeforms. Therefore, it may be surmised that your bodies are of comparable biological composition to those we once possessed. I have a number of queries regarding your subjective perception of the five senses: sight, sound, taste, touch, and smell. In total, I prepared 198,712,180,827. We don't have the lifespan for those questions, buddy. That's sort of a lot, isn't it? And my apologies, I've omitted a great many details necessary to understand the nature of my request. Though we dispensed with our corporeal vessels long ago, we have rediscovered the need for the flesh, and have endeavoured to recreate our erstwhile forms. However, all pertinent records have been lost due to the passage of time. Take, for example, the nervous system. It is well within our power to create, but we have no frame of reference for sensations once experienced by our people, which may compromise our ability to interact with our physical environment. And the reason you need to gain corporeal forms? Why, to bring an end to our existence, of course. Though need is perhaps too strong a word. It would be a simple matter to unmake ourselves through use of etheric exsanguinators, but such a death seems inadequate. The traditionalists among us believe proper death requires an inescapable sense of impermanence in one's final moments, an experience found only with bodies of flesh. We should very much like to hear more of your plans. In exchange, we will answer any questions you have to the best of our ability. Such an exchange of information would indeed prove useful. Why do these feel like a beast tribe? Very well. To ensure efficacious exchange, I hereby invite you to our home. Yes, the abode of the EA, or the A, where we traditionalists prepare for our demise. I presume your consent to answer questions is indicative of a tactical approval of our plans, in which case your cooperation is greatly manifested, greatly appreciated. I must caution you, however, to the mindful of the EA wandering the desert, their desires for bodies of flesh could be described as overzealous. Now, if you would follow me. This is going rather smoothly, not that I'm complaining, mind. Even so, we mustn't forget their aim is oblivion, much like the dragons. Though I fail to see why a civilization so seemingly advanced would choose to unmake all they have created. At any rate, we'll find no answers dwelling here. Let's be on our way. God, this universe is just depressing. Ay, 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 ay. Alright, so we're going to the Etherite. Lovely. Already we've covered about half the zone. Completing this story today might not be out of the question. Although I probably still have a trial and a dungeon to go through, so I might need to save it for another time, as sad as that would be. Yeah. I could take the time to gather the Etherites in this area. Let's see. Let's get that Etherite first. How close is it? Okay. To the north. Right, let me get this first. Ba-boom. Let's see if I can find that. There it is. Right, let's take a look at this place then. It would be under Ether Currents. So 5 and 10. Okay, same as last time. Oh shit, there's water. Okay. Don't know why that was a surprise to me, but yeah, there's water. Still no quests from there. Right, let's see. Party check. I should not be surprised their concept of a village is so different from ours, and yet it makes sense. They live in the crystals. More violet-colored crystals. I cannot place my finger on it, but there is something unsettling about them. The Isle of Dragons was shrouded in the silence of the dead, yet the stillness here doth suggest the air are, by large, merely sleeping. Something tells me we have different definitions of the word abode. They said there would be others, but I don't know what I was expecting. Welcome to our abode. Most of our compeers, you will find, remain idle in their domiciles, though your quizzical expressions indicate my phrasing is unclear. I speak, of course, of the violet crystalline constructs hanging from the stone structures here. You say they remain idle, but what of your work to regain corporeal bodies? An astute question, and understandable given your finite nature. We have no desire to pursue our research, for it is no longer necessary. If, in our idleness, we are struck by sudden inspiration, we rise to pursue said inspiration to its conclusion. That's why I was present for your arrival, and why I will continue to engage with you still. And while others are not currently in a motile state, rest assured they would not object were you to disturb their respite. You need only cast your thoughts towards one of the crystalline domiciles to communicate. Commune with the crystalline domiciles. Okay. You cast your thoughts towards a crystalline domicile, but there is no response. So is this actually taken from the planet, or is this just like an Ambrose situation, where it's reconstructed from memories? You wish to speak? Very well, pray, a moment if you would. Alright. Crystalline domicile. Why we seek our end, you ask. If you wish to know, I will tell you. Just a moment, I must remember. What form did I take when last I emerged? I just realised, how am I going to say these bloody words in bloody YouTube titles? I don't know. The strange moaning comes and goes, but soon fades into silence. Alright, so 2 are awake, 1 hasn't responded, and 1's a zombie. Wait. Oh, that's just a person's pet. Did your inquiries yield satisfactory responses? No. I see. If they fail to answer, then it is likely because their minds have unraveled due to prolonged idleness. They are naught but concentrated ether now. Worry not. There are no others who have need of those lodgings, and they will not prove a hindrance to remain as they are. But more importantly, you said some few did answer your request for an audience, yes? I imagine they will be with us ere long. Alright. Flesh abandoned. I assume that's what it says. Kofkuj languidly awaits his brethren's arrival. I had no luck, but everyone else fared well enough. Quite a few EA have awakened. Ah, there they are. May I introduce to you Lalak, Dudik, and Nenij. It has been too long, Kofkuj. I dare say Sadir IV has since completed an orbit. Indeed, until the travellers brought it to my attention, I had noticed how unravelled some had become. Travellers? Ah, of course, the ones who wish to know why we seek to regain corporeal forms. The truth of the matter is as plain to see as the neighbouring systems. My single account would fail to satisfy the requirements for scientific objectivity. First I bid them awaken you. Am I the only one who struggles to tell who is speaking? Nay, thou art not. In the absence of corporeal forms and the divergence they afford, mayhap such similarity in voice is unavoidable. By the way, Kofkuj, have you already observed the requisite custom for the travellers? That which one is expected to do when receiving guests of matter of proper form. Ah yes, so long has it been, it has completely escaped my mind, and still does. What was it again? I can't seem to remember. Neither do I, pity, I was hoping you would. Perhaps we can search the archives for the answer. Come now, Nenij. The archives have long been frozen lest we subject ourselves to further dollar. Surely you recall that much. Ah, of course, food. The custom is to serve food. Beings of flesh such as they must regularly replenish their ether by contributing to the replenishment. We communicate our friendly intention. That's right. We duly invite you to join us in communal respite or repast, after which we may engage in leisurely conversation. If we have a chance to learn something, then I see no reason to decline. Excellent. If you would care to follow, we shall feast you on the purest ether. This don't sound good. This don't sound good. I don't trust this. I really don't trust this. Oh, and they're doing a little bit of cheating here. So I've got this section. Flying section, flying section, flying section. This section, which I assume is the Omega's creator's base. And then more sections. Okay. Oh, I don't trust this. I do not trust this at all. We were told to stand wherever we like. This strikes me as less of a meal and more of a ritual. Judging by the construction of this facility, it would seem the Aya directly draw upon the ether. Ether, they said, but I can't help but feel a bit nervous. Same. If they are thus able to replenish their ether, the loss of vital sustenance isn't like to be the cause of their demise. It is as I suspect, this so-called feast. Actually, let's just see it for ourselves. Fear not, we are not like to come to harm. I don't believe that. I do not believe that. This facility is where we replenish our ether. There is no particular name for it, but we traditionalists sometimes use the word restaurant. Now then, if you would take your place with your comrades, the space will soon be awash with purest ether. Please absorb as much as you like. I don't think that's how this works. You brace yourself for a rush of sweet, sweet ether, but nothing seems to happen. Perhaps you need to wait a little longer. Okie dokie. Come on, click on it, not the minion. There we go. You brace yourself again, but again, nothing seems to happen. Just as I suspected, as meticulously as one might recreate the EA's home world, this is Ultima Thule. One cannot simply generate ether here. As recreations, our friends are oblivious to this fact, to the very truth of their existence, much like the phantoms of the recreated Amaro. However appearances may seem, we must ever be mindful that it is the memories of the dead with whom we deal. Uh-oh. So, did you have your fill of ether? Alas, we couldn't absorb it, a deficiency in our forms, there would seem. Oh, how very unfortunate. May I ask how you normally replenish your ether? Through H2O. And food. Through your mouths, you say? How very primitive and quaint. To think that their mouths serve not only to expel sound, but draw in sustenance besides. Such life forms have long since vanished from our systems. Though we regrettably could not partake of your magnificent feast, rest assured we feel your welcome most keenly. In the course of acquainting ourselves with your sophisticated ways, however, we could not fail but wonder, what... Aye. I could probably do for a feast after this. Wherefore do you wish to obtain vessels of flesh and thence to vanish? Will you not favour us with an explanation? Your flesh and blood beings are always so hasty. It does have its charm, however. Very well, we shall indulge you. In the beginning, when EA yet possessed corporeal forms, our ancestors dedicated themselves to the pursuit of knowledge and technological advancement. By transcending all limitations, we believed we could eliminate sorrow and abide in true happiness. From the tangible, such as the land, to the intangible, such as labour, there exist myriad hindrances to progress. But the most confining of all was the flesh itself. Our natural lifespan was distressingly middling, you see. Too short to enjoy unhurried lives, yet too long to be considered disposable. Furthermore, to simply maintain the integrity of our bodies demanded considerable resources. But we managed to solve this problem. After long years, we discovered how to become non-corporeal beings or entities with everlasting lives, untroubled by the failings of the flesh. Thus changed, we had more time and freedom to continue our scientific pursuits. We went on to make ever greater strides in our quest to transcend all limitations, until we finally decided to challenge the last of them all, the limit of knowledge. That is to say, deciphering the laws of creation. We sought to discover how the universe came into being and explain all extant phenomena, and thence predict the future. If we could but achieve this, we believe we will be free from uncertainty and anxiety. And did you find the answers you sought? Yes, we did. Our efforts revealed to us a fundamental truth. Knowledge of said truth is essential for the continuation of our conversation. If you would learn more, we will share it with you. Uh-oh. No, we mustn't. Primitive as they are, it would be unspeakably cruel to deprive them of their ignorance. They are possessed of corporeal forms, their lives are readily ended. And those who have gone before, is it not our duty to warn them? What thinkest thou? Uh-oh, this is Stolla's time, isn't it? We have deliberated and come to a consensus. If you are resolved to know it, we will disclose to you the truth we discovered, the truth of the universe. Seek us at the stone pillars just outside the bounds of the abode, a place called Eulegia. Or Eulegia. Uh-oh. This is Ishtola's time. I can see this happening. To define the laws of creation would have been no small feat, even for the EA. Nay, having eternal life, and hence no sense of haste, Nay, having eternal life, and hence no sense of haste, would only have made it harder. Such tremendous drive for knowledge they once must have had, and I struggle to reconcile it with the listless beings before us. Whatever answers they found, it did not bring them happiness. You may be intimately familiar with a problem, know it like the back of your hand, yet be powerless to solve it. In the course of my struggles, I have often been made keenly aware of this fact. I wonder, have the EA never felt the same frustration? 'Tis true that a lack of knowledge can beget fear. Therefore, in theory, by acquiring all knowledge, it may be possible to attain peace. But as Hyland told us, all those people who attempted to free their worlds from life's woes met with failure. And EA are among them, as their presence here attests. The tale we are about to hear will not be a happy one. Like her master, Ishtola seeketh the truth of creation. How will the truth of the EA, who uncovered all only to desire the end, fall upon her ears? Oh shit, this is her time. A fundamental truth. We will hear it, of course. Let us learn that what has led to such an enlightened people to this indolent end. Alright. Where knowledge leads. Something seems to be weighing on Urianje's mind. Ere we join the EA, there is one trifling matter I would fain investigate. Marashnik Ratia, might I trouble you for your assistance? But of course. My thanks, we shall head outside the abode, if you would kindly follow me. I know not what mischief you are plotting, Urianje, but I trust you have our best interests at heart. The rest of us shall go on ahead to Elegia. Lest you worry, we won't start without you. As long as Urianj explains himself to you, then I will be satisfied. Do lend him an ear in my stead. There is naught but desert out there. What could Urianj wish to investigate? Go and assist Urianj with his mysterious task. We shall wait for you. Oh God, I have a bad feeling about this. If that dungeon run I saw in the launch trailer is anything to go by, then I don't know. I could be overthinking it even, but I don't know. I just don't know, and it worries me to no end. Right, Wellspring of Regret. You're making me go a long way for this. Discover a new location. Gra. A spring, and a sizable one at that. I hadn't noticed it amidst the dunes. Aye, this place shall serve. Is it the spring that you wish to investigate? Pray forgive me, my friends, but there is naught to investigate. 'Twas but a pretense to speak in private. You have our undivided attention. Undivided attention. As we have established here in Ultima Thule, those denizens of ruined stars are recreated in their twilight days. Yet one question doth arise in my mind. So faithfully formed are the simulacra, they believe themselves yet amongst the living. How dost thou suppose this is possible? Did you rip the planets apart? Meteion made contact with them while they still lived. That's my guess. Of course, she must have visited the stars of the dragons and the EA before the Eva race perished in their entirety. Thus could she make their emotions her own, and with them create more faithful simulacra than had she relied on any historical account. So too did I theorize, and upon that assumption, consider how these two races may have met their demise. According to thine own tale, Meteion perceiveth the emotions of those nearby as her own, a heightened sense of empathy intrinsic to her nature as an Enteleki. In the course of her starfaring journey, if she encountered beings who strongly desired a cessation of their existence, she would be powerless before that desire, even as she possesseth the power to grant it, the power of Dynamis even. 'Tis my supposition that, overwhelmed by their longing for death, Meteion did unleash Dynamis and ushered the dragons and the EA unto their doom. She did the coup d'etat. Of course, such was not always the outcome. Full many stars did she find already lost to ruin. In order to create a terminus, however, the fervent desire for end is essential. Therefore, should you struggle to find a way forward, pray ask yourself this. In this place where you stand, whose is the soul that yearneth most desperately for oblivion? Meteion. Why do you tell us this now? Never again would I betray your trust. This pledge I did make to my comrades. In bringing thee into my confidence, I would remain true to my word. Are you saying that all the scions are... As for thee, let us consider it my fitting reward for the secrets I harboured for the Crystal Exarch. I once placed my faith in thy chosen path, walking at thy side, full knowing that we were bound for thy demise. I ask now that thou returnest the favour and abide in faith, as I fulfil mine own destiny. If you say my debt has come due, how am I to refuse? 'Tis indelicate of me, I know full well, and I can but beg thy forgiveness. Yet, even if I must needs go to such lengths, I cannot well feign ignorance of the answer I have found within. The answer to the question, in what moment might I stand strongest? Okay, so that's a huge death flag for Uranjay. After all that we've been through, I will only say this. Or say only this. Do what you must. Do what you must and see your conviction through. Oh God, I shall, my friend, I shall. Without further ado then, let us join our comrades. Now the question is it Y'shtola that's going to go on this bit of land, or is it Urianger? Because I feel like it's those two. Let's be off to Elegia, or Elegia. However you want to pronounce the bloody thing. Where knowledge leads with an infinity sign. Ay, ay, ay. I feel like we're getting through this zone pretty quickly. Yeah, but I don't have time on my side. Let's see. Body check. I understand you've taken care of business. If you're ready to begin, and so are we. While we waited, we mentioned our star situation to the EA. They nodded sagely, or something to that effect. Don't mind me. Come, let us hear the EA's tale and learn what caused such enlightened beings to crave nihility. It would seem that your star too has been plunged into a panic-induced cataclysm. We hope that our tale will not serve to exasperate it. Your companion in front, the one called Y'shtola, she seemed keenest to learn the truth. I pity her. We are prepared for our recounting. To facilitate comprehension, the information will be simplified to match your primitive minds. Oh, you're here already. Your comrades said you would be late. Alright, Y'shtola. It seems everyone is accounted for. Shall we then? Yep, let's get this cutscene out of the way. Oh, God. Is it voiced?
Please continue.
Yes, it is.
Tell us about this truth you discovered.
Lovely. I need a drink after this. An alcoholic one.
Very well. Bear in mind, however, that the purpose of this conversation is not to impart scholarly knowledge, for such requires that you comprehend the subject matter, which you will not. We will forego the intricacies of our scientific methodology and deal only with the conclusion, the end of our society and our world. We acknowledge, with regret, that your star is in the midst of the same panic-induced cataclysm that befell Denet 3. As such, in order to avoid causing undue distress, we will refrain from explicitly stating how much time you have remaining.
You are entirely too kind. I pray you recount your tale as you see fit.
In the beginning, the universe was but a tiny particle. Having remained entirely in the bounds of your star, the phenomenon may be difficult for your kind to grasp. Speculating that the universe could not grow indefinitely, we sought to learn what might occur, and made a worrying discovery. The stars will continue to spread apart, as will their finite thermal energies. Eventually, all heavenly bodies will grow cold and freeze. No new stars will be born, and the universe will enter onto an eternal ice age. In hopes of proving that this determination was erroneous, we scrutinized our research from all angles, even as we sought to avert the everlasting winter. The endeavor proved fruitless. So infamously so, in fact, that it became synonymous with vain effort. The universe as we know it would end, and there is no way to prevent it. Beneath the weight of this knowledge, our society stagnated. Though we had time still, it was a cold comfort. Why strive for anything when desolation is assured? When our wealth of wisdom, accumulated since the dawning of our kind, would be forever lost. No civilization would rise from our ashes. No scholar recover our knowledge. In silence unbroken, naught would stir. Intellect was once our pride. Overnight, it became our shame. Our works, monuments to futility. Immortality, our greatest invention, became a source of suffering. Rather than suffer on, many chose to unmake themselves by means of etheric exsanguinators. Etched upon these stones are the testaments of such souls. Though many left no words at all, thinking it a pointless gesture. Once we have obtained vessels of flesh, we likewise intend to vanish. If you understand this, understand aught of our tale, you will abandon your quest for knowledge. Ignorance truly is bliss. If you would cling to your illusory happiness, remain primitive and pure. It is the only way.
So that's your story. While I appreciate your advice, I will not heed it. Convinced though you may be of this truth, it is yours and not mine. Indeed, truth, I have ever believed, is in the eye of the beholder.
Are you suggesting that we have reached a faulty conclusion? That our science failed us?
Hardly. As you yourself said, the subject matter is beyond my comprehension. And that, I accept, is true. I do not possess the knowledge to prove or disprove your conclusion. In my mortal years, I doubt I could even approach the wisdom of the air. But of one thing am I absolutely certain. I would not be happier in ignorance.
Y'shtola, no! You mustn't!
The most important lesson I've learned is that learning isn't simply passing one's eyes over words. Nay, 'tis when understood for oneself that knowledge attains its true value. This is what has sustained me, driven me onward in joy and wonder, in anger and sorrow. The universe may end, and all may be for naught, but I will live as I always have. I will always seek out new knowledge, and no conclusion of yours, no matter how grim, can dampen my desire.
I suppose it is only to be expected. Their feeble minds cannot fathom the terrifying gravity of it all. But worry not. We consider it our duty to enlighten you, and we will not stop until you grasp the full extent of our despair.
Keep calm and listen well. Though my body will soon dissipate, there may be a way to restore it. Azam's magic. So long as our souls remain, you can use it to summon us back. But you mustn't, for it would mean losing our way forward. This I only reveal so that you can promise not to invoke the magic. We came here knowing what victory may cost, so press on. Press on, and do not look back.
I shall join thee. As subterfuge is not required, thou shalt not suffer for mine absence.
Riange.
My resolve hath never been as strong as thine. Full oft have I wavered in my decisions, and afterwards been stricken with regret. In spite of this, I may still stand with my comrades, supporting them as they attempt the greatest of feats. This truth I have learned in the course of our journey. And many though my shortcomings may be, I may also claim to excel in prophecies. My studies, into which have granted me the flexibility of mind needed to bend this malleable reality. Thus shall I hope that thou mayest have the strength to resist, and our comrades the strength to continue.
With you to urge us on, how could we possibly fail?
What's this? An extinguished civilization. Rekindled.
That's right. Our quest doesn't end here. We'll press on, and we will find you.
There. That's where you'll find me.
Is that another star?
Of the stars we visited, most were already devoid of life. And where there was life still, the inhabitants wished for death. But even death, we learned, isn't truly the end. It is but a part of the cycle of rebirth. Souls return to the star, or in its absence, a larger flow. And eventually they are reborn. Alive again, to know suffering anew. True salvation lies not in dying. It lies in not being born. This is the gift I would give to you. To all life on beautiful Etheris. To that end, we created an egg wherein life cannot quicken. That dead sun. Attain it if you can. before your friends' emotions fade away, along with their protection.
Damn. And then there were 4. There were 4. And 2 side quests. Ay, 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 we're running out of people. Never have I felt such emptiness, as it's as if a part of me is gone. Well, I was essentially your older brother. I'm fine. Like I said, our quest doesn't end here. Victory. I can't even read that. And that's level 90. We are at the level 90 quests. Ay, 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 ay. So next is this area. The necropolis. That sounds like it would be the thing to go to. So I guess with that, I'm going to end this video here. This has been DragonofEternity going through more Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker MSQ. In this video, we went to a desert area. We met the EA people. We heard about how they found out about what was it called? The heat death of the universe. Yeah, so they found out about the heat death of the universe, and yeah, they wanted bodies to properly die. And Y'shtola and Y'shtola and Urianger rallied against them, sacrificing themselves to give us a way forward. So I guess next time, we'll be going forward. So, yeah. With our planned out viewers, with my rambling hopefully now finally done. Until next time.